Do you know there are people who show up in your life every day, smile at you, text you, sit next to you, ask how you are, but deep down, they never truly saw you as someone important. Would you believe it? That hurts to hear, doesn't it? But the truth hurts even more. A lot of people do not leave when you become weak. They simply stop pretending to care. And that moment is when you finally see the true face of the relationship. Maybe today you still think you have a lot of people around you. You have friends, you have family, you have people who reply to your messages quickly. You have people who always act close to you. But think about it. If tomorrow you lose your job, if you get sick, if your life falls apart, who would truly stay? Not the kind of person who drops a heart on your story. Not the kind who gives you a quick, stay strong. But the person who actually shows up. The one who answers the phone at 2 a.m. The one who steps forward when the whole world steps back. If you have ever realized that the harder life gets, the fewer genuine people remain, comment 1. If you are already thinking of someone very specific, comment 2. And this is the scary part. Most people do not realize they have been emotionally neglected for a very long time. They just feel tired. They feel lonely. They feel empty even while sitting beside someone. But they do not understand why. The reason is simple. They still believe words. When the only thing that ever tells the truth is behavior. Someone who truly cares about you does not need to say too much. You will feel it. And someone who does not truly care about you does not need to admit it either. They will reveal it in very small ways, very quietly, but enough to wear you down little by little. And the first sign is extremely dangerous. Dangerous because it makes you question your own feelings. It is when they hurt you, and then act like nothing ever happened. They say something cruel. They break a promise. They embarrass you. They betray your trust. You stay silent because you are in shock. You wait for an apology, a simple check-in, just one small sentence. Are you okay? I'm sorry about what happened. But no, they come back as if everything is normal, still smiling, still making random conversation, still asking you for favors, still acting like nothing was broken. And that is when you start to get confused. You ask yourself, am I being too sensitive? Am I overreacting? Should I just let it go and move on? But that is only the surface. What is really happening is this. They are leaving you to carry all the discomfort alone. They do not apologize because apologizing would force them to lower their ego, to admit they were wrong, to face the fact that they hurt you, and they do not want to pay that price. So they choose the easiest path, pretend nothing happened, wait for time to erase the evidence, wait for you to soften, wait for you to swallow your feelings, wait for you to be the one who acts normal again. And the most painful part is, this tactic works very often. You smile back, you respond again, you let it go. But from that moment on, a part of your trust has died. You will no longer feel safe being vulnerable with them. You will remember that when you were hurting, they never stopped. Someone who truly cares about you cannot stay calm knowing they caused you pain. They will feel uneasy. They will feel guilty. They will want to make it right, not because they are forced to, but because they cannot stand the thought that they hurt you. That is what real care looks like. So if someone repeatedly acts like nothing happened after hurting you, believe that behavior. That is not harmlessness. That is coldness, disguised very well. And the next sign traps even more people for even longer, because it is not loud, it is quiet, but it makes you feel lonely inside the relationship itself. It is when they always avoid real conversations. You gather all your courage to talk about what is weighing on your heart. You choose the right moment. You choose your words carefully. You take a deep breath, you begin to speak, and they immediately look at their phone. Change the subject. Say, let's talk later. Or give you a short answer just to get it over with. Yeah, I know. Don't make it a big deal. This isn't a good time. The problem is that later never comes. Sound familiar? You slowly learn that there are things you cannot say to them. There are feelings you have to hide. There are topics that get shut down the moment you bring them up. And then you start adjusting yourself. You share less. You become less honest. You talk less about your pain, less about your needs, less like your real self. If you have ever been in a relationship where the longer it lasted, the more silent you had to become, comment 1. If you know what it feels like to have someone beside you but still not be able to reach them, comment 2. But here is what no one tells you. Avoiding emotion is also a way of saying, I do not want to carry the weight of you. Someone who cares about you does not have to be great with words. They may be awkward, they may be unsure, they may not know the perfect response, but they will stay in the conversation, they will listen, they will not run away the second things become uncomfortable. Because when you matter to someone, your truth does not make them so uncomfortable that they disappear. But someone who always avoids real conversations is quietly telling you this. They only want the easy version of you, the cheerful version, the version that asks for nothing, the version that does not force them to grow, that is not connection, that is just surface-level closeness. And then comes the third sign. This sign hurts a lot of people, but they do not know how to name it, because on the surface, it looks so small. But over time, it makes you feel like you mean nothing. It is when they are never truly present in the things that matter to you. You tell them about a plan you are excited about. They say, "Oh, that's nice." And that is it. You go through something difficult. They never follow up. You achieve something you worked very hard for. They say nothing. No congratulations, no curiosity. They cannot even remember why today matters to you. But strangely, when it comes to other people's lives, they remember everything. They get excited. They pay attention. They stay engaged. They have energy. So stop lying to yourself. It is not that they are emotionally unavailable with everyone. They just are not invested enough in you. And this is where many people wake up. Real support does not require a lot of money. It does not require huge sacrifice. Sometimes it is just one follow-up question. How did that go? How was the interview? Have you been feeling any better lately? How's that project going? That is all. But someone who cares will remember. Because what matters to you becomes important to them too. But someone who always forgets everything connected to you is not forgetful. People do not forget what they genuinely care about. They remember game schedules. They remember movie release dates. They remember what they personally enjoy. So if they do not remember your pain, your dreams, or your important milestones, the answer is very simple. You are not in their emotional priority zone. That sounds harsh. But the sooner you see it, the fewer years you will waste waiting for something that was never coming. And the final sign is the one that silently kills a relationship from the inside. It is emotional distance. The two of you still see each other, still sit next to each other, still text, still appear in each other's lives. From the outside, everything looks normal. But only you know, there is an invisible wall between you. You speak, but you do not feel heard. You laugh, but you do not feel reached. You are physically close, yet it feels like they are impossibly far away. And the most dangerous part is that this distance comes slowly. It does not explode. It does not warn you. It just quietly becomes the new normal. Until one day, you realize you cannot remember the last time you truly felt understood. That is when you start trying harder. You talk more. You ask more. You try to create connection. You try to save the atmosphere. You try to fill the emptiness. But the harder you try, the more exhausted you become, because you are carrying a bridge alone while no one is holding the other end. Here is the shift in perspective that many people need to hear very clearly. The problem is not that you are not good enough, not that you are not patient enough, not that you are asking for too much. The problem is that you are trying to beg for the bare minimum from a place that never wanted to give it to you. You think you need to learn how to endure more. No. What you need is to stop calling lack of care a normal relationship. Stop calling avoidance just their personality. Stop calling emotional distance they are just busy. Stop using your loyalty to cover up the truth that you are being emotionally starved. If you are starting to see everything more clearly now, comment 2. If a specific person's name has already appeared in your mind, comment 1. And now, Do not rush to make a scene. Do not send a long emotional message while your feelings are still hot. Do not declare war. Just be quiet for a moment and be honest with yourself. Who is the person who always leaves you to heal alone after hurting you? Who only wants the easy version of you? Who has never truly stood in your corner? Who is physically close, but whose heart left a long time ago? You already know the answer. You're just afraid to believe it. But believing it is the first step to saving yourself. You are not too sensitive. You are not hard to love. You are not asking for too much, wanting to be heard, apologized to, included, and cared for. That is not a high standard. That is the bare minimum. And the moment you start seeing it as the bare minimum, your life will change. You will stop chasing cheap attention, stop making excuses for coldness, stop staying in places that make you feel lonelier than being alone. And then you will have space for the people who actually know how to stay, people who know how to apologize, how to listen, how to remember, how to make you feel full instead of empty. If this video touched the part of you that has stayed silent for too long, hit like and subscribe. And stay for the next video. Because there is another truth many people still do not dare to face. Sometimes the person who hurts you the most is not the one who hates you. It is the one who never truly cared about you the way you believed they did.